My beloved child. Sometimes, you think I have turned away from you, but I have been watching every tear. I have seen the nights you tried to stay strong and the moments your strength quietly dissolved. I have heard the prayers you whispered and the ones you could not even finish because disappointment tightened your chest. You have knocked on doors that did not open. You have applied, reached out, stepped forward in faith, and still found yourself standing in the same place. It has made you wonder if the heavens above you are closed, if your voice is echoing into emptiness. But I have never stepped away from you. I know how tired you are. Not just physically tired, but tired in your heart. Tired of trying. Tired of hoping. Tired of believing for something that feels just out of reach. You have done what you were told to do. You prayed. You trusted. You waited. And still, nothing seemed to move. It is in these quiet stretches that doubt begins to whisper. It asks you if I am listening. It asks you if you have been forgotten. It asks you if you somehow disqualified yourself without knowing how. But I am not measuring you by outcomes. I am holding you through the process. There is no disappointment in my heart toward you. I am not frustrated with your questions. I am not offended by your tears. I understand the weight of watching others move ahead while you feel still. I understand how comparison tries to convince you that you are behind. Yet you are not behind in my timing. You are not overlooked in my sight. When you felt ignored, I was closer than your breath. When you thought your prayers were delayed, they were being carried carefully, not discarded. Silence does not mean absence. Just because you cannot hear movement does not mean nothing is happening. Seeds grow in quiet soil. Foundations are laid beneath the surface. The deepest work often happens where you cannot see it. You have been measuring progress by visible change, but I have been working in unseen places. I have been strengthening parts of you that would have collapsed under sudden success. I have been protecting you from doors that looked right but would have drained you later. What felt like restriction was often preservation. You feared that I had closed the heavens above you. You feared that something in your life had shut the flow. You searched your memory for mistakes. You replayed conversations. You questioned your worth. But my love for you has never been fragile. It does not flicker because of your uncertainty. It does not withdraw because of your weariness. I remain steady even when your faith feels thin. I remain present even when your hope feels faint. I know you have asked, why does nothing seem to work for me? That question has echoed in your thoughts more times than you admit. It has carried frustration, confusion, and a quiet ache. You have watched others testify while you waited for your own story to change. And somewhere deep inside, you wondered if your heaven was silent. But silence is not the same as rejection. Delay is not the same as denial. What you interpret as stillness has layers you cannot yet see. There are moments when I allow quiet seasons, not to punish you, but to position you. In quiet seasons, distractions fall away. In quiet seasons, your roots grow deeper. In quiet seasons, you learn that your security is not in outcomes but in me. I have been shaping endurance inside you. I have been teaching you to rest even when answers are not immediate. That is not abandonment. That is preparation. You are not foolish for believing. You are not weak for feeling discouraged. You are not forgotten because results have not arrived. I have counted every attempt you made. I have honored every step of obedience. Even when doors remained closed, your faith was not wasted. Nothing you surrender to me disappears into nothingness. I hold it. I multiply it in ways you cannot yet trace. There has been resistance you did not understand. There have been delays you could not interpret. There have been unseen intersections where timing had to align beyond what you could calculate. You saw a closed door, I saw a rearrangement. You saw a no, I saw a not yet. And though you felt the weight of waiting, I was calibrating details beyond your sight. You were never waiting alone. Tonight, I want you to release the fear that I have stepped back. I have not. I am nearer than you think. I am closer than your anxious thoughts. I am attentive to the quiet sigh you release when you are too tired to pray again. Your exhaustion does not repel me. It draws my tenderness closer. You do not have to impress me with strength. You do not have to pretend you are unbothered. I see you fully, and I remain. There is more happening than you realize. The silence you have feared holds movement within it. The delay you have resented carries purpose inside it. And though you cannot yet see the shift, something has been adjusting beneath the surface. What felt blocked is not permanently sealed. What felt heavy is not forever fixed. You are standing closer to change than you know. So breathe. Let your shoulders soften. Let the accusation in your mind quiet down. You are not under a closed sky. You are not speaking into emptiness. I have been listening from the beginning. And tonight, as you rest, you will begin to sense that the stillness above you is not indifference. It is anticipation. Something that seemed restricted is about to loosen. Something that felt held back is beginning to move. Stay with me here, because what unfolds next will help you understand why this season felt silent, and why it will not remain this way. You have been strong for too long. You have held yourself together in front of others, smiled when questions felt intrusive, nodded when advice felt hollow, and carried on as though the weight pressing on your chest was manageable. But I have seen how heavy it has been. I have watched you compare your timeline to theirs, your progress to theirs, your results to theirs. Comparison has been whispering that you are late, that you are lacking, that you are less. And even when you tried to silence it, the pressure lingered. You have carried disappointment quietly. Each unanswered call felt small on its own, but together they formed a pattern that discouraged you. Each opportunity that slipped away made you question your favor. Each financial strain tightened something inside you. Bills arrived without hesitation, yet provision seemed slow. You calculated, recalculated, adjusted, and stretched what you had, all while wondering why it felt harder for you than it appeared for others. You did not complain loudly. You endured. But endurance without relief can become exhaustion. You have been carrying outcomes as though they depended entirely on you. You have tried to control what was never yours to control. You replayed conversations, wondering if you said the wrong thing. You revisited applications, thinking you missed something important. You blamed yourself for doors that were never designed for you to open. The weight of responsibility grew quietly, resting on your shoulders until your rest became restless. Even your prayers sometimes felt heavy. You approached me with hope, but underneath that hope was fear. Fear that if this attempt did not work, you would not know what else to try. Fear that time was moving faster than your breakthrough. Fear that your effort was dissolving into nothing. You carried these fears silently, not wanting to appear ungrateful, not wanting to admit how deeply you were affected. But I am not intimidated by your honesty. I am not offended by your vulnerability. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. You were never meant to hold your future in a clenched grip. You were never designed to sustain yourself purely by your own strength. When you began to believe everything rested on you, the pressure intensified. Your body felt it. Your sleep felt it. Your thoughts circled without rest. Your nervous system stayed alert, as if you were always bracing for the next disappointment. But you do not have to brace yourself tonight. Let me lift what you have been holding. Let me untangle the tension in your mind. You have been trying to predict outcomes so you will not be hurt again. You have been trying to stay one step ahead of disappointment. But anticipation of pain is not protection from it. It only steals your present peace. I am not asking you to pretend things are easy. I am inviting you to release the illusion that you must solve everything before you can breathe. Comparison loses its grip when you remember that your path is not a race. Financial strain does not define your worth. Unanswered calls do not measure your value. Closed doors do not cancel your destiny. The opportunities that slipped away were not your final chance. They were moments in a larger unfolding you cannot fully see yet. What feels like loss right now is not the end of your story. Feel how your shoulders have been tight. Feel how your thoughts have been racing even in quiet rooms. You have carried invisible weight so long that you forgot what lightness feels like. I am restoring that lightness to you. Not by ignoring reality, but by sharing the burden with you. You do not have to hold your tomorrow in your own hands. My hands are steady. My vision is wider. My timing is not rushed or careless. There is a difference between responsibility and ownership. You are responsible to show up, to trust, to act when I lead you. But you are not the owner of outcomes. When you took ownership of results, anxiety multiplied. When you believed everything depended on you, peace slowly drained. I never asked you to carry that. I asked you to walk with me. Walking with me distributes the weight. Walking alone concentrates it. Breathe with me now. Let the urgency soften. Let the need to prove yourself dissolve. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not invisible. You are in a process that requires trust more than striving. The heaviness you felt was not proof of rejection. It was a sign you were carrying more than your portion. As you release this burden, you may wonder what fills the space it occupied. If you let go of constant calculation, what replaces it? If you loosen your grip on outcomes, what steadies you? I am not leaving a void. I am replacing pressure with covering. I am replacing strain with shelter. I am replacing restless effort with assurance. An open heaven is not only about visible blessings. It is about protection above you, guidance around you, and peace within you. Knowing that you are sheltered, guided, and sustained even before you see visible change. That is what I mean when I speak of an open heaven over you. An open heaven is not noise, it is flow. It is not constant announcements and dramatic signs. It is the quiet, steady movement of my grace without obstruction. It is access to my heart. It is alignment with my timing. It is clarity where there was once confusion. You have often defined an open heaven by outcomes. You thought it meant immediate provision, rapid promotion, a sudden yes where there had been many no's. You imagined it would look like undeniable increase, like doors swinging wide without resistance. But an open heaven begins deeper than that. It begins in connection. When heaven is open, you sense me near. You recognize my guidance. You feel peace even before the results arrive. It is not just about what falls into your hands. It is about what settles in your spirit. Access changes everything. When you have access, you are not guessing where you stand. You are not begging to be noticed. You are not striving to be approved. You know you are heard. You know you are covered. That knowing steadies you. Alignment follows access. Alignment means you are not forcing what is not yours. You are not chasing what drains you. You are positioned where grace meets effort. Things may still require patience, but they no longer require panic. Clarity is another sign of open heaven. Confusion loses its grip. The constant second-guessing quiets. You begin to sense direction instead of wandering in circles. Even if the steps are small, they feel intentional. Favor begins to flow without you manipulating circumstances. Conversations unfold naturally. Help appears without you exhausting yourself. Timing begins to cooperate rather than resist. This is flow. It does not always shout, but it moves. When you felt your heaven was shut, you interpreted delay as rejection. You assumed silence meant distance. But often what you called a closed heaven was a season of formation. Formation does not look impressive from the outside. It looks slow. It looks hidden. It feels uncomfortable. But formation prepares you for what you prayed for. If certain doors had opened earlier, the pressure inside them might have crushed you. If certain opportunities had accelerated, the foundation beneath you might have cracked. I was not withholding to punish you. I was shaping you to sustain what is coming. A season of seeming closure refines motives. It deepens trust. It strengthens resilience. It teaches you to lean on me rather than lean only on outcomes. Without formation, blessing can become a burden. Without depth, success can become instability. I care more about your wholeness than your speed. Spiritual panic has tried to convince you that something is wrong with you. It told you that if heaven feels quiet, you must have failed. It urged you to search for hidden faults, to blame yourself for every delay. But panic distorts perception. It magnifies silence into abandonment. It turns waiting into accusation. I am calming that panic now. You are not under investigation. You are under care. An open heaven is not a reward for perfection. It is the natural result of relationship. As you rest in me, as you release control, as you allow formation to complete its work, alignment happens. Flow resumes. Sometimes the sense of closure was not because I moved away, but because your focus was scattered. You were carrying anxiety, comparison, and urgency so tightly that you could not feel the steady current of my guidance. The flow was there, but fear muffled it. You ask quietly, if it has felt closed, why did it feel that way? And what opens it? These questions are honest. There have been layers you could not see. Timing matters. Preparation matters. The cooperation of other hearts matters. Even unseen resistance can delay movement. But none of these are permanent barriers. They are temporary intersections. What opens heaven over you is not frantic striving. It is trust. It is surrender. It is alignment with my rhythm rather than racing ahead of it. When you stop forcing doors, you begin to notice the ones that open gently. When you stop measuring yourself by visible success, you begin to recognize inner growth. When you quiet comparison, you begin to hear direction. This is how flow returns. It may begin subtly. A new idea forms with clarity. A conversation shifts unexpectedly. An opportunity reappears in a healthier way. Peace settles where anxiety once ruled. These are signs of access restoring itself. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Do not mistake formation for failure. The season you feared was shaping muscles you will soon need. The patience you resisted was strengthening endurance you will soon rely on. What you called a shut heaven was often a protective pause, ensuring that what comes next will not overwhelm you. Yet there are also moments when resistance does try to obstruct flow. Not every delay is only internal. Sometimes there are unseen factors, patterns, or pressures that work against progress. You sensed this at times but did not know how to name it. You felt as though something intangible was holding back what should have moved freely. You were not imagining everything. I am beginning to address those unseen layers. I am bringing light where there has been subtle obstruction. I am aligning circumstances that seemed scattered. As you rest under open heaven, understand that this covering is not fragile. It is intentional. It guards your path. It clears what can be cleared. It exposes what needs to shift. Stay close in this understanding. What you once labeled as rejection is being reinterpreted. What you once feared was permanent is being adjusted. There has been more happening beneath the surface than you realized. And as we move forward, I will show you gently how unseen resistance loses its hold when you remain under my covering. Some battles were happening where you could not see. You felt the weight of resistance, but you could not trace its source. You sensed that something was slowing your steps, interrupting your progress, dimming your momentum. It was not always dramatic. It was subtle. A heaviness that lingered. A discouragement that returned just when hope began to rise. A pattern of near breakthroughs that dissolved at the last moment. You wondered if you were imagining it. You were not. Not every delay is simply about timing. Sometimes there is opposition that tries to wear you down quietly. Not to destroy you, but to exhaust you. To make you question yourself. To make you lower your expectations. To make you accept less than what I intended. Discouragement has been one of the strongest forces against you. It did not shout. It whispered. It told you to stop trying so hard. It suggested that maybe this is just how things will always be. But that whisper was not my voice. There has also been spiritual heaviness that you did not fully understand. Moments when prayer felt harder than usual. Moments when motivation drained without clear reason. Moments when your thoughts felt clouded and your confidence thin. You tried to fix it by pushing yourself harder. You tried to reason your way through it. But some heaviness is not solved by effort. It is lifted by presence. When you remain close to me, the weight loses its grip. Wrong alignments can create resistance as well. Alignments with conversations that fed doubt. Alignments with environments that drained your peace. Alignments with expectations that were never truly yours. You stepped into spaces thinking they were necessary for progress, but they quietly pulled you out of rhythm. That misalignment did not mean you failed. It simply meant you were learning discernment. And I was watching, ready to redirect you gently. There have also been internal wounds that slowed you more than you realized. Old disappointments that made you cautious. Past rejections that made you guarded. Unhealed moments that shaped how you approached new opportunities. You thought you were just being wise, but sometimes you were protecting yourself from pain so carefully that you restricted your own expansion. I do not expose this to shame you. I reveal it to free you. Healing restores flow. None of this has been stronger than me. Not opposition. Not heaviness. Not misalignment. Not wounds. These are factors, but they are not final authorities. They influence seasons, but they do not determine destiny. You may have felt surrounded at times, but you were never overpowered. Even when resistance slowed you, it could not erase what I placed inside you. It is important that you understand this without fear. Acknowledging resistance does not mean living in anxiety. It means recognizing reality without exaggerating it. You do not need to fight frantically. You do not need to search for hidden enemies in every corner. You simply need to remain under my covering. Under open heaven, resistance weakens. Under my presence, heaviness thins. Under alignment, confusion clears. You felt relief just now reading that some battles were unseen. Because part of you feared you were simply incapable. You wondered if the problem was entirely you. But the story is more layered than that. Growth involves friction. Expansion attracts attention. Movement meets resistance. Yet resistance often confirms that you are moving towards something meaningful. It does not signal abandonment. It signals impact. Still, you do not need to be tense about this. I am not revealing hidden layers to alarm you. I am revealing them so you understand that the delays were not proof of my absence. They were intersections of multiple forces, some internal, some external. And through all of them, I remained steady. You were never navigating alone. You may be asking quietly, what happens tonight? If there has been resistance, if there has been heaviness, what changes now? Tonight is not about dramatic spectacle. It is about decisive shift. It is about alignment returning. It is about burdens loosening. It is about clarity re-emerging. What was subtle obstruction begins to dissolve when you rest under open heaven intentionally. I am recalibrating your steps. I am closing wrong alignments without chaos. I am healing internal wounds with gentleness. I am strengthening you where discouragement tried to thin your confidence. Opposition loses power when it is exposed to light. Heaviness fades when peace settles deeply. You do not have to manufacture this shift. You simply have to receive it. Trust is growing between us right now. You are beginning to see that your season was not random. It had layers. It had purpose. It had resistance, yes, but it also had protection. Some doors closed because they would have entangled you in unnecessary struggle. Some delays prevented premature exposure. Some redirections saved you from longer detours. Even what felt like loss carried hidden mercy. Tonight is a turning point, not because everything changes instantly, but because your understanding changes. You no longer interpret silence as rejection. You no longer assume delay equals denial. You recognize that unseen resistance is not greater than my authority. That awareness shifts your posture. And posture affects flow. As you rest now, know that what resisted you is not permanent. What discouraged you is not decisive. What misaligned you is being corrected. This is not the end of your story. It is the moment before momentum returns. Stay with me, because what unfolds next will not only address resistance, it will begin opening what once felt tightly shut. You will not sleep under a closed sky tonight. The season that felt sealed is shifting. The pressure that felt constant is easing. I am opening what was shut, not with noise or spectacle, but with steady authority. What resisted you does not have the final word. What delayed you does not define you. I am moving over the areas that seemed locked, and I am releasing flow where there was friction. Doors that remained closed are being examined by my wisdom. Some will open because their time has come. Others will remain closed because they are not aligned with your peace. You will no longer beg at doors that drain you. You will no longer chase what diminishes you. I am unlocking what belongs to you and sealing what would have harmed you. This is not loss. This is refinement. Blockages that formed quietly are dissolving. Patterns of near success followed by sudden setback are being interrupted. Cycles of hope rising and collapsing are breaking. The heaviness that hovered at the edge of your progress is thinning. You may not see immediate fireworks, but you will sense internal steadiness returning. You will feel a quiet confidence replacing restless striving. I am restoring your dignity. Disappointment tried to make you shrink. Delay tried to make you doubt your worth. Comparison tried to make you question your value. But your value has never been determined by speed or applause. You are not defined by what has not happened yet. You are defined by my intention for you. And my intention has not changed. Tonight I breathe courage back into you. Not loud courage that announces itself, but grounded courage that stands without trembling. You will begin to approach opportunities differently. Not from desperation, but from assurance. Not from fear of missing out, but from clarity about what fits. Confidence will grow in you like a steady flame, not a sudden spark that fades. Favor is aligning with your path. Conversations will shift. Responses will come from unexpected places. Timing will begin to cooperate. Where there was resistance, there will be receptivity. Where there was confusion, there will be direction. This does not mean every moment will be effortless. It means flow will replace constant obstruction. Peace is settling deeper within you. Anxiety that once tightened your chest is loosening. The need to control every detail is softening. You are learning that trust creates space for movement. As you release pressure, I fill that space with assurance. You will notice that decisions feel clearer. You will notice that sleep feels deeper. You will notice that your thoughts no longer spiral as easily. Divine timing is recalibrating around you. What seemed late is aligning precisely. What felt stalled is synchronizing with moments you could not see before. There were elements beyond your awareness that needed to connect. There were pieces that had to be positioned. Now that alignment is taking place. You are stepping into a rhythm that feels natural rather than forced. You may wonder what changes you will notice first. Perhaps it will be subtle peace when you wake. Perhaps it will be a new idea that carries unusual clarity. Perhaps it will be a conversation that opens possibility. Do not dismiss small shifts. Small shifts are signs of larger movement beneath the surface. Flow often begins quietly. I am not rushing you into overwhelm. I am guiding you into sustainable expansion. You will not be thrust into something you cannot carry. The formation you endured prepared you for this moment. The patience you cultivated strengthened your foundation. The resistance you faced sharpened your discernment. Nothing was wasted. Tonight is not only about external doors. It is about internal unlocking. Fear is loosening. Shame is dissolving. The belief that you are behind is breaking apart. You are not scrambling to catch up. You are walking into what has been prepared. There is a difference between chasing and receiving. You are shifting from chasing to receiving. Let this truth settle deeply. You are not under a closed heaven. You are under covering. You are under care. You are under intentional guidance. What was restricted is opening at the right pace. What felt sealed is responding to my authority. You do not have to force this transition. You simply rest beneath it. As this opening unfolds, remain attentive but not anxious. Remain hopeful but not hurried. You will sense alignment before you see abundance. You will experience clarity before you witness confirmation. Trust those internal shifts. They are evidence of flow returning. When this prayer ends, you will not be left alone to maintain what I have begun. The opening does not depend on constant effort from you. It rests on my consistency. I will continue working beyond this moment. I will continue aligning details while you sleep. You do not have to guard every outcome. You do not have to anticipate every obstacle. Tonight marks a shift in posture. You are no longer pleading beneath a silent sky. You are resting under open heaven. What felt impossible is becoming accessible. What felt distant is drawing near. What felt uncertain is stabilizing. Stay in this peace. Let it anchor you. The change has begun, and it will continue unfolding even after your eyes close. Stay in this peace. Let it anchor you. The change has begun, and it will continue unfolding even after your eyes close. Rest is your warfare tonight. You do not need to strive through the darkness. You do not need to rehearse tomorrow in your mind. While you sleep, I am working. As your breathing slows, I am rearranging conversations you have not yet had. Words that once would have been dismissed are being received differently. Hearts that seemed distant are being softened. Perceptions that misread you are being adjusted. You are not present in those rooms, yet your name is being considered with new clarity. You do not have to defend yourself in every space. I am able to advocate for you where you cannot stand. Systems that felt rigid are shifting quietly. Structures that appeared immovable are being influenced in subtle ways. What looked like a fixed outcome is being reconsidered. Timing is being recalibrated. Opportunities that seemed lost are being revisited. None of this requires your anxiety. None of it depends on your midnight calculations. It unfolds because I am attentive even when you are asleep. Helpers are being aligned. Connections are being drawn closer. Individuals who carry pieces of what you need are being positioned along your path. You may not recognize them immediately. Some will appear ordinary at first. Yet their arrival will not be accidental. I am orchestrating intersections that feel natural rather than forced. You will not have to chase them. Alignment brings them near. While you rest, I am also restoring you. Your mind has been overstimulated by concern. Your body has absorbed tension you did not fully acknowledge. Your spirit has been alert for so long that deep relaxation felt unfamiliar. Tonight, allow yourself to loosen. Release the need to monitor every possibility. You are safe to sleep. Restoration happens most deeply when you stop resisting rest. You may have believed that staying awake in thought was a form of responsibility. You replayed scenarios to prepare yourself. You anticipated problems to avoid surprise. But vigilance is not the same as control. You cannot solve tomorrow before it arrives. You cannot prevent every obstacle by rehearsing it. Trust is quieter than that. Trust rests. As you drift, strength is returning to places that felt depleted. Confidence is being rebuilt without pressure. Creativity is being refreshed. Discernment is sharpening gently. When you wake, you may not identify the exact moment renewal occurred, but you will sense steadiness where strain once lived. That steadiness is evidence of my work in the unseen hours. What will tomorrow look like? It may not unfold with dramatic announcements. It may begin with subtle differences. You may notice your thoughts are clearer. You may respond to situations with less fear. You may sense openness in places that once felt closed. These small shifts are significant. They are signs that flow continues. Do not rush the morning. Let it arrive naturally. You do not need to test every door immediately. Walk at a pace that feels aligned. I will guide you step by step. When a conversation matters, you will sense it. When an opportunity is right, peace will accompany it. When something is misaligned, unease will caution you gently. You are not navigating blindly. Rest tonight knowing that progress is not paused. Movement does not require your constant awareness. Just as the earth continues turning while you sleep, my work continues without interruption. There is comfort in that continuity. You are not the engine of your destiny. You are the recipient of guidance. Let your shoulders sink into the surface beneath you. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breath deepen. The sky above you is not closed. It is covering you. Under open heaven, rest is not laziness. It is alignment. It is your declaration that you trust me to handle what you cannot see. Tomorrow will come with new mercies. It will carry adjustments already set in motion. You will not wake to the same internal weight you carried before. Something has shifted. Something continues to shift. And as you sleep now, know this with certainty: you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone in the unfolding. Tomorrow will come with new mercies. It will carry adjustments already set in motion. You will not wake to the same internal weight you carried before. Something has shifted. Something continues to shift. The sky above you is not locked anymore. You may not see dramatic signs the moment your eyes open, but you will feel a difference. There will be a steadiness in your chest where tension once lived. The tightness that used to greet you in the morning will not have the same hold. Your breathing will feel easier. Your thoughts will move with less urgency. This is how change often begins, not with spectacle, but with peace. Clarity will start to replace confusion. Decisions that once felt tangled will seem simpler. You will know what deserves your energy and what does not. You will sense when to move and when to wait. This clarity will not shout at you. It will guide you gently. You will find yourself responding rather than reacting. That is growth unfolding quietly. Unexpected favor will begin to surface in ways you did not anticipate. A message may come at the right moment. A conversation may turn in your direction. An opportunity may present itself without you forcing it. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. They are part of the flow returning to you. Favor does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it feels like doors opening just enough for you to step through without strain. Small confirmations will appear along your path. A phrase that resonates deeply. A reminder that aligns with what you sensed in prayer. A reassurance that you are moving in the right direction. These confirmations are not accidents. They are encouragements, placed carefully so your hope becomes steady rather than fragile. I am not promising instant spectacle. I am guiding you into sustainable progress. Sudden change can feel thrilling, but lasting change is built through alignment. What unfolds now will not overwhelm you. It will strengthen you. You will look back and realize that the shift began subtly, but it carried weight. It endured. You have grown in ways you did not fully recognize. The waiting refined you. The resistance sharpened your discernment. The quiet seasons deepened your trust. Now, as movement resumes, you are more prepared than you realize. You will approach open doors with humility rather than desperation. You will carry success with steadiness rather than fear. Hope will feel different from now on. It will not be a fragile wish that collapses at the first delay. It will be grounded confidence. You will expect good without clinging to specific timelines. You will anticipate progress without demanding immediate proof. This kind of hope sustains you. It does not exhaust you. As tomorrow unfolds, you may wonder what you must do next. The answer is simpler than you think. Remain attentive. Remain aligned. Do not rush ahead to secure outcomes. Do not retreat in fear of disappointment. Walk steadily. Listen closely. When it is time to act, you will know. When it is time to wait, you will sense peace rather than pressure. You do not need to perform to maintain this opening. You do not need to prove that you deserve it. Your posture matters more than your performance. Stay rooted in trust. Stay open to guidance. Stay willing to release what no longer fits. This posture keeps the flow unobstructed. There will still be moments that require patience. There will still be situations that test your calm. But they will not carry the same heaviness. You will handle them differently. You will feel supported even in challenge. You will recognize that you are not striving under a closed sky. You are walking under open heaven. When doubt tries to return, remember this shift. Remember the peace that settled tonight. Remember the clarity that began to form. These are not illusions. They are signs of movement. You are stepping into a season where alignment replaces anxiety and flow replaces friction. Tomorrow will not feel the same because you are not the same. Something inside you has been strengthened. Something above you has been opened. Something ahead of you is being prepared. Walk into it gently, confidently, without hurry. Stay close to me as you move forward. Let trust guide your steps more than urgency. Let peace confirm your decisions more than pressure. The sky above you remains open, and you remain covered. The sky above you remains open, and you remain covered. Do not run ahead of my timing. Now that you feel movement returning, there may be a temptation to accelerate everything. You may want to secure every opportunity quickly, to make up for lost time, to ensure that nothing slips away again. But flow is maintained through alignment, not urgency. Stay close. Stay steady. Consistency and trust will keep you positioned under open heaven. Trust is not dramatic. It is daily. It is choosing peace when uncertainty tries to rush you. It is refusing to panic when progress feels gradual. It is believing that I am guiding you even when the next step is small. When you trust consistently, you do not exhaust yourself trying to control what is already in my hands. Gratitude strengthens alignment. When you acknowledge what is working, you make room for more to unfold. Gratitude does not deny challenges, it anchors you beyond them. It keeps your heart open instead of defensive. It reminds you that flow has already begun. The more you notice subtle favor, the more clearly you will recognize my guidance. Alignment requires attentiveness, not anxiety. Pay attention to where peace rests. If something stirs constant unease, pause. If something draws you forward with quiet assurance, lean in. You do not need to force obedience. Obedience under open heaven is not heavy. It is responsive. It feels like cooperation rather than compulsion. When I nudge you gently, follow. When I quiet you, remain still. Release striving. Striving tries to prove worth. Striving fears losing momentum. Striving measures value by productivity alone. But under open heaven, you are not earning access. You are living in it. You are not performing for approval. You are responding from relationship. The difference matters. Performance drains you. Closeness strengthens you. Closeness is how you remain positioned. Speak with me throughout your day, not only in crisis. Invite me into decisions before they become overwhelming. Let your thoughts return to peace when they wander into pressure. You do not have to maintain perfection to stay aligned. You simply return when you drift. My presence is not fragile. It does not withdraw at your smallest misstep. Security grows as you remember that timing is part of protection. If something delays, it is not necessarily denial. If something accelerates, it is not necessarily pressure. Trust my pacing. What I open will not require you to abandon your peace. What I align will not demand you compromise your integrity. Flow under open heaven feels sustainable. Stability will replace the old cycle of excitement followed by collapse. You will not swing between extremes. Progress will feel measured and healthy. You will learn to appreciate steady growth rather than sudden bursts. This stability is evidence that formation has done its work. You are no longer driven by fear of missing out. You are guided by clarity. When opportunities appear, ask for discernment rather than rushing. When challenges arise, respond with calm rather than panic. This posture keeps you covered. It keeps the channel clear. You do not have to grip every blessing tightly. What belongs to you will remain. What is not aligned will fade without damaging you. There will be moments when impatience tries to return. In those moments, breathe and remember tonight. Remember the peace that settled over you. Remember that the sky above you is not locked. You are not racing against time. You are walking within it. My timing does not forget you. Final reassurance rests here. You are not alone in maintaining this alignment. I am present in every step. When you hesitate, I steady you. When you question, I clarify. When you tire, I restore. You are positioned not because of flawless effort, but because of ongoing relationship. As this night draws deeper, allow this understanding to settle fully. Remain close. Remain grateful. Remain attentive. You are under open heaven, and you are kept there by connection, not performance. Now let your heart quiet further, because I am about to seal this night with blessing and peace that carries you into restful sleep. Now let your heart quiet further, because I am sealing this night with blessing and peace that carries you into restful sleep. The heavens over you are open now. Not partially. Not temporarily. Open with intention. Open with covering. Open with care. Sleep under open heaven. Let that settle into you slowly. The sky above you is not heavy with resistance. It is wide with protection. It is steady with presence. It is attentive to every detail of your life. You are not beneath silence. You are beneath watchfulness. Sleep under open heaven. Peace over your mind. Thoughts that once raced are slowing. Questions that once circled are softening. You do not need to solve anything tonight. You do not need to anticipate tomorrow. Your mind can rest because I remain alert. I guard what concerns you. I hold what you cannot hold while you sleep. Peace over your body. Tension leaves your muscles. Strain releases from your shoulders. The weight that pressed against your chest dissolves. You are safe to relax fully. No hidden danger waits for you in this night. No unseen threat has authority over you. My covering rests gently but firmly around you. Peace over your home. Every room is under my awareness. Every doorway is under my protection. Calm settles into the walls. Stillness fills the atmosphere. What belongs in this space remains. What does not belong cannot stay. Your home is not exposed. It is sheltered. Peace over your finances. Provision is not slipping away from you. Flow is being restored in ways you cannot yet measure. Needs will be met. Doors of supply will open at the right time. You do not have to fear lack in this moment. I am mindful of what sustains you. I am attentive to what supports you. Peace over your destiny. Nothing assigned to you has been erased. Nothing prepared for you has been forgotten. Timing is aligning. Pathways are clearing. The future ahead of you is not blocked. It is unfolding. Even while you sleep, movement continues. Sleep under open heaven. Let that phrase become your rhythm. Inhale peace. Exhale pressure. Inhale assurance. Exhale striving. You are not beneath a closed sky anymore. You are beneath flow. You are beneath guidance. You are beneath favor that does not rush but does not fail. If worry tries to rise again, release it immediately. You are covered. If doubt attempts to whisper, let it fade. You are protected. If memory reminds you of past disappointments, let tonight be different. This night is not like the others. Something has shifted. Something has opened. The heavens over you are open now. Above your thoughts, open. Above your plans, open. Above your household, open. Above your work, open. Above your relationships, open. Above your calling, open. Not in chaos. Not in noise. In steady, intentional alignment. I am watching over you as you drift deeper. I am guarding the hours you cannot monitor. I am sustaining your breath. I am strengthening your heart. No effort is required from you right now. Only rest. Sleep knowing that you are seen. Sleep knowing that you are valued. Sleep knowing that what felt stuck is loosening. Sleep knowing that tomorrow carries quiet evidence of tonight's shift. There is no need to stay alert. There is no need to rehearse conversations. There is no need to anticipate outcomes. I am present in every unseen detail. I am working without strain. I am protecting without pause. The heavens over you are open now. Let that truth be the last thing you carry into sleep. Let it settle deeper than fear ever did. Let it root itself where anxiety once lived. You are under covering. You are under care. You are under open heaven. Rest fully. Rest deeply. Rest without fear. I remain awake while you sleep. The heavens over you are open. What felt silent is shifting. What felt delayed is aligning. You are no longer striving beneath resistance, you are resting beneath covering. Carry this with you: you are not forgotten, you are not behind, and you are not alone. Flow has begun again. Peace has settled. Alignment is returning. If this prayer spoke directly to you, do not keep it to yourself. Type "My heaven is open" in the comments as a declaration of faith. Share this with someone who feels like nothing is working for them. And before you sleep tomorrow night, come back and rest here again. You are under open heaven.